A very warm welcome to Unacademy's session on 1 minute manager, and it is also called a situation leader. Now, yesterday we had covered this topic on leadership. We had covered a few aspects, and today what we're going to do is we are going to go one step ahead and talk about what are the different ways that we can delegate to people. Is it going to be treat everybody the same or treat every individual differently based on the way they are? So it's going to be different strokes for different folks, so which is nothing but the situational leader. So let us get started. I'll quickly do an introduction about myself. I'm Nitin Prabahakar. Basically, I come with 15 years of human resources experience, of which 13 and a half years I was leading teams. So I'm going to share some of my experiences, and please, if there's any questions in the meanwhile, viewers, please keep posting so that we can have a very engaging and an interactive session. My user referral code is down below, which is NITINPKR-4915. That's my referral code. So please feel free to ask questions as and when it strikes your mind. You don't have to wait for the session to get over and then ask me questions. So let's make it interactive. So with that, let us get started. I'll do a quick recap. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. I'm just going to quickly tell you what are the things that we covered. We spoke about what is the definition of a leader. According to me, it's the art of getting things done. And the moment you give a task to any of the other individual, it can be a subordinate, it could be a peer. They should feel like, wow, I'm going to do this. And there should be one common vision. So that is what I would define as a leader, if I have to put it in one sentence. We spoke about different leadership styles. We spoke about authoritative, where one wants to. Savan, hey Savan, good evening. Welcome to today's session. So I'm just doing a quick recap. We spoke about authoritative leaders. Authoritative leaders are all those people who wants things to be done their way. We spoke about bureaucratic leaders who go by the books, who say, I'm going to follow the step and I'm going to be very orderly, very methodical. And if somebody wants me to do a shortcut, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just follow the books. We spoke about democratic leaders, who are also called as participative leaders. Participative leaders are all those people who involve their teams, their peers in making decisions, and they are very people friendly. So very popular leadership is authoritative, is democratic leader. Laissez-faire are all those leaders who give a task and then they forget about it. Now this would be effective only when the teams are very competent, right? So we covered all of it. That's why I'm going to quickly rush through yesterday's recap and move on to today's session. Charismatic leaders are all those people whom people look up to when they speak. They would want to be, they would want to look up to this person. They would want to hear this person out. So that is charismatic leader. Transactional leaders are all those people who it's more like a give and take. You do this and you get this. You don't do this and you don't get that. It's more of a carrot and a stick approach, which basically is you do a good job, you get a carrot. You don't do a good job, you get a stick, right? So that is transactional leader, not a very popular style of leadership, but very commonly used in our kind of setup, which is in India. Servant leader is where people would want to work for their teams. They would want to see happiness in the team. They would want it's unconditional. Irrespective of what you do, I will work for you. Mother Teresa is a great example of servant leadership, which is not really used in the corporate world. Transformational leader is, you have a particular challenge, you're working on a particular project, there's a challenge at hand, and if you're a transformation leader, you're somebody who would go there and transform a project which is issue centric to a solution centric approach. So that is the role of a transformational leader. So these are a few things that we covered in yesterday's session. So what we are going to talk about today is how can you be an effective leader, and then we're going to talk about the 1 minute manager or the situational leader. All right, okay, let's get started. Now, first one, according to me, there are 5 most important attributes or characteristics or qualities one need to have in order to be great leaders. The number one is integrity. this is something that I keep telling everybody very passionately, that integrity is nothing but honesty. For people to look up to you, and if the moment they consider you as a role model, they would just follow what you do, not necessarily they will follow what you say. So you got to be a role model, you got to do it and show. And one of the things that you need to do, just so that others also repeat, is the honesty, which is the integrity. So it's a lesson hard learned. I have worked in various companies. I was looking up to one of the MDs in my company, somebody who has worked in the company for 14 years, somebody that I really looked up to. And every time that he came to Bangalore, the head office was in Gurgaon, so whenever he came to Bangalore, he used to India's youth wish hi Vishavniyata. Hello. So I'm talking about, if there's any questions, like I said, please keep shooting so that we can make it interactive. I was talking about this MD who works out of Gurgaon, but whenever it comes to our Bangalore office, he used to have a focus group or a round table. He used to meet all the leaders. He used to talk so highly about, he used to speak very highly about, integrity, how important integrity is. So we all used to really look up to him. There was unfortunately one day when, the people from the US, which is basically the head office across the globe, who came down to India, did an investigation, and it was found that he had he made a lot of money through the illegal source. And thereafter he was given a pink slip, he was asked to leave the company. And for us, we really looked up to him, and all of a sudden the kind of respect that we had was gone in just a jiffy, right? And thereafter, which is 2015 is when this happened, and from then till now, this individual has not got a job. The moment somebody loses their face, it's tough to rebuild that confidence, it's tough to rebuild that respect. And thereby, one of the most important quality that one needs to have is integrity. In the kind of jobs that each one of us are going to get, I'm sure we would have multiple opportunities of taking the wrong path, even in the smallest things that you do. Say, for example, in a project work that you're doing, if you're conducting a fest, in each one of these cases, there could be a possibility of you taking the wrong route. Please ensure that your number one priority should be integrity. All right. Number two, learning through failures. There's this beautiful story about Rohini satellite. You might have already heard about this, which is Abdul Kalam and his team with Abdul Kalam's boss. They were all working. I think this is in 1990s. They were planning to launch a satellite which is called as the Rohini satellite. They all worked really hard and then they launched it, and unfortunately it's a failure. The whole ISRO team is disappointed, and thereafter there is a press meet. Now everybody is wondering who's going to go attend the press meet, and Abdul Kalam's boss comes and says, I'll go attend the press meet. So he goes, attends the press meet, and when there's a failure, they ask you difficult questions. Why so much of failure? Why did you lose crores of rupees for the country? So all of these had to be answered, and Abdul Kalam's superior, goes, answers, faces this tough conversation, and then before he finishes, he commits to everybody that in the next 1 year he's going to relaunch the satellite with the whole team. And then he comes back and then takes everybody into confidence, the whole ISRO team, and tells them that in the next year we're going to relaunch this. And then everybody agrees to it. They work really hard, and after a year it's a time for them to relaunch. Now they launch it. This time it is a success. Now everybody is absolutely happy, everybody is really glad, the whole country is celebrating. There is a press meet now, and this time everyone's wondering who's going to go attend the press meet. Of course, everyone is thinking that Abdul Kalam's boss will go and attend it, because the last time when there was a failure, he went and attended. But this time his boss comes and says, Abdul, you go attend the press meet. Abdul Kalam goes, attends the press meet. very comfortably, because this is a case where they have done a good job, so it's easy to attend the press meet. And Abdul Kalam comes back and then he writes a book. In the book, he very beautifully says that day my boss taught me one lesson, and the lesson is, when there is a failure, the boss completely owns it up, the leader owns it up, and when there's a success, he gives it to the team. So when there's a failure, he says it's my mistake, but when there's success, he says it's the success, the onus goes to the team. So that is an art of leader. A leader is somebody, normally what we do is, the moment we see a failure, I'm sure you must have seen this in your day-to-day life. Leaders, not necessarily by a role, I'm not saying a designation. Leader, each one of us are leaders. When you're interacting with people, when something goes wrong, the moment something goes wrong, they blame at the other individual. That's not a good leadership quality. The moment something goes wrong, it's us, it's me. And the moment something goes well, it's all you, thank you, right? It's not about me anymore. So that is one of the most important attributes that we need to have as individuals, as leaders. Sorry, a message got retracted. Did I miss something? India's youth, I think I missed something there. Alright, the third important quality that we need to have is, we need to be people oriented. In whatever business that you get into, you would be in the midst of people. It could be, you get into the telecom vertical, you become a manager in a restaurant, you become head of a company. It could be Infosys, it could be Wipro, it could be a manufacturing setup, it could be ITC, it could be any of the big guys. If you look at it, one commonality that each one of it would have is, they are all going to be people-centric organization. Your role is going to be people-centric. If you start a business of your own, again, it's people-centric. So you need to know the art of managing people, delegating work, getting everybody to work towards a common vision, and that is an art of leader, right? The fourth one is people development. Now, the moment we start working and we get so busy, all right, so I do MBA from an average college, and after take 1 year experience, I go to UAE for job. That time I get good job in Dubai, or not for job. That time Vishwa, I guess your name is Vishwa, right? Vishwa, my whole point is this: irrespective of where you do an MBA from, if you do it from the top colleges, of course, the weightage is going to be higher. But if you do it in an average college, it doesn't matter. What matters is, how much have you learned in those 2 years? How much of efforts have you put in to develop yourself? Have you grown as an individual? So the moment the interviewer sees that you are somebody who's competent, who has the capability, then the possibility of you getting selected is a lot more higher. It could be in Dubai, it could be in India, it could be any part of the world. One thing that people look for is your competency. How competent are you? So in your MBA, please ensure that you really work hard towards your own self-development. I was telling in one of the sessions that when I joined my MBA, I'm from Bangalore, so I always spoke in Kannada. So I could not frame a single sentence in English. But those 2 years, I really put in a lot of hard work, especially the first 6 months. In 6 months, I spoke in English on a regular basis. I was able to make presentation. I developed on my people skills. I was somebody who was an introvert, never spoke to people. And in my MBA, I changed my attitude. I started speaking to people, became a lot more social. And in 6 months, I was a changed personality. So if somebody like me, who could not frame a single sentence, who was scared to talk to others, who had no confidence, who had no social life, could change into somebody who's confident, who could go attend college fest and become a lot more popular. When I joined, my principal said I'm not going to give him a seat. After 2 years, I was awarded as the best outgoing student. So there was a huge transformation for me. So if I could do it, I'm sure anybody can do it. So if you utilize those 2 years in your MBA effectively, then I'm sure job is definitely going to come looking for you. So you don't have to go in search of a job. So make yourself very, very competent. All right. I hope I answered your question. All right. People development. So the moment we have people around us, normally what we think about is all about ourselves, but leader wouldn't think just about himself or herself. It's all about the people around. So if the leader sees somebody struggling with the work, they should go and help people, because the one of the most important quality that is required is people development. It's to get everybody up to speed, to get everybody to be more competent. When everyone is competent, the whole team is competent. What happens? The team's efficiency starts improving, which means to say, when the team grows, you will grow. So that is very, very essential part of a leader. Normally what people think is all about myself. I would want to do a good job. I don't care about my team's performance, which is the wrong attitude. The last but not the least, each leader should have a vision. Well, the organization can have a vision. Do you have a vision? When you do your fest, do you have a vision? Can you go and tell your team that this is my vision? Can we all work towards it? So each one of you need to have a vision for yourself and the people working with you. So that is another important quality of being a great leader. Now these, if I had to name the top 5 qualities to be a great leader, these are the top 5. You can identify what are your top 5 qualities in order to be a great leader. Work on those qualities, right? But of course, integrity is something that can't be compromised. So have that as a part of your quality. Now moving on, I was telling you that situational leader is one of the most important thing. We can't treat everybody equally. We got to have different strokes for different folks. Now please read this book. It's called as 1 Minute Manager. There are multiple 1 Minute Manager, but read this book called as 1 Minute Manager by Ken Blanchard and Paul Hersey. It's called as 1 Minute Manager, in bracket it's leadership. So pick up that book. It's a less than 100-page book, but it is more like a story. It's very interactive, so it's an easy reading. So please pick this up. And the reason why I'm saying do it now is because a lot of people try to understand leadership 5 years, 10 years down the line, which may be too late. So it's best that you learn the art of leadership now, because in the next couple of years you will probably be leading a team. You would be designated as a leader. And when would you be designated as a leader? Is only when they see that you're competent. So start working on those leadership skills now before you join your MBA. If you're already doing your MBA, it's time for you to do that now than doing it 10 years and then I've not got promoted, I don't have a team. I've seen friends who found it extremely difficult to be leaders because they were not told how to be leaders. Alright, so now we're going to talk about situational leaders. Now there are going to be 4 types of learners predominantly. So if you look at the D1s are all those people. Hey guys, keep shooting questions if there's any. I hope all of you are with me, and if there's any questions, keep them coming. Now we're talking about D1. Who are D1s? Now if you look at, there are 2 things that we are talking about: competency and commitment. When I'm talking about competency, I'm referring to the skill set, whether that person knows how to do that particular job. Is that person skilled enough to do that job? The second one is commitment. Commitment is nothing but the confidence level. All right, remember, competence is a skill set, commitment is the confidence. In the first stage, we call these are D are all the learners. Okay, where is the D is D1. The D1 is somebody who's low on competence and high on commitment. If, say for example, you have just completed your MBA, you join a company, what happens? Are you competent? You may not be as competent, so thereby you are low on commitment. But how committed are you? Your competence is low, but your commitment, which is your confidence level to do a particular job, your energy levels to do a job, is absolutely high. Right, because you are just out of your college, you're just joining a new company, so the energy levels are really, really high. So you would fall in a D1 if you just join a particular company, right? The second type of learners are D2. Who are D2? They have some competence. You say, for example, D1, you're just join a company, you've started working on a particular project. Let's assume that you have joined the marketing field, and in marketing you have started learning branding and digital marketing and sales and all the stuff, but then you're kind of, you have some company, you've gained some competence, but your commitment, your energy level, confidence level has gone down. Initially it happens in the first 3 to 4 months. The energy level goes down because you go to work for 12 hours, you don't know whether you are doing a great job. If that happens, then you are a D2. What happens if you're a D3? You're somebody who's really good. Now that you are in the marketing for the last 6 months, you're absolutely good at what you're doing. You're high on competence, but you have goofed up something. You have made some mistakes, and thereby, your confidence level has gone down. So you have high competence and you have variable commitment, which is D3. And the last one is high competence and high commitment. You're very good at what you're doing and you're absolutely confident. That is why you are at a D4. So if you look at it, there are 4 different types of learner. And if you are a leader, you need to address each one of these 4 differently. You can't treat each one of them the same. It is important for you to distinguish who falls under D1, D2, D3, D4. Now, after the session, you might want to just write down 5 of your close friends and in your college, and write down where do they fit in. Do they fall under D1 or D2, D3 or D4? Okay. Now, what you as a leader would do with each one of them. This is the situational leader model. So if you look at the left side, it says supportive behavior, which is the vertical axis. If you go high, if it goes up, it's high, and if it goes down, it's low. Similarly, the directive behavior, if it goes to the right, it's high. If it goes to the left, it is low. What is directive behavior? To tell somebody to do it this way, right? To the right, it's high. To the left, it's low. Supportive behaviors is to support them, to encourage them, to motivate them. It's high on the left side and low on the high on the upside and low on the bottom side. Now, you are a leader. How would you treat somebody who is at a D1? Now, D1, you would become an S1. If D stands for the learners, S stands for the leader's behavior. Now, you as a leader would become an S1. S1 is you become high on directive. You have a team member who has just joined you, or you are working on a particular project. You know that there's somebody who's low on competence, but wants to do it, high on commitment, which is nothing but a D1. What would you do? All right, I don't have English speaking environment, then I can transfer myself. Vishwa, my whole point is this: irrespective of the people surrounded, irrespective of they speaking to you in English or not, it's important for you to converse with them in English. You might want to call your close friends and tell them, please don't mind, I'm going to start talking to you in English, because when you join a business world or a corporate world, you like it or not, English is the most commonly accepted language, right? I hope you agree to that. Well, Hindi is also most commonly spoken, but English is something that you would require sooner or later. So you might want to call some of your friends and tell them, hey, I would want to speak in English, please don't mind, and then start talking. The first day, second day, 10th day, they might find it a little awkward, but then you'll get used to it. Number 2, go in front of a mirror and talk to yourself for 15 minutes every day on any topic of your choice. Speak about newspaper, COVID virus, COVID-19, or could be a mobile phone, could be a laptop, could be anything of your choice or what did you do through the day, what is that you would want to do tomorrow. You can speak about anything for 15 minutes. So what happens is you're getting used to speaking English, and also you're getting clarity of speech, confidence level increases. Number 3, newspaper. Please read the newspaper loud. Read English newspaper and read it loud. When you speak in English and when you speak loud, you will have clarity of speech, right? I used to stumble, I used to fumble when I stammer, when I used to speak, but the moment I started reading newspaper aloud, I got the fluency. And please ensure that you read the newspaper aloud. Roughly around 30 minutes, keep it for your self-development, English, confidence, all of these, right? Personality development. Keep 30 minutes a day for this, because interviewers will definitely look at the confidence level that you have, the communication skills that you have. All of these are very, very important. Subject knowledge is also important, but imagine you have the knowledge but you're not able to communicate that, you're not able to communicate that confidently, then there is no way that they would select you. So it's absolutely important for you to also work on your soft skills, right? Please do try that, Vishwa. So Don't just keep it at your hard skills, which is your subject knowledge, which is important, but please spend time on your self development, right? Okay, I was saying about, I hope I hope I've answered your question, and I hope you would start taking initiations on these aspects. With that, going back, as an S1 leader, what would you do if you see that in the project that you're doing, there's somebody who's just new to that particular project but is very high on commitment? You would become a directing kind of leader, which is an S1 style of leadership, is nothing but directing. You will tell them what to do, how to do, when to do, where to do. You're going to check for feedback. So that is what you would do as a S1 leader. All right. Now moving to the second one, S2. In that particular team, now you would be an S2 leader if your learner is a D2. Now what does a D2 do? They have some competence and low on confidence. Now because they have low on each one or both of it, what are you going to do? You're going to have high supportive behavior and high directive behavior. You will tell them what to do, when to do, how to do, where to do, and you will also check for feedback, but you will also support them. You need to build in confidence to them by saying, I know that you are competent, I know that you are good at what you're doing, I know that you will come up the curve. So instill a lot more confidence in them, which is important. That is what you'll do with the D2. With the D3, you will become an S3, which is supporting kind of a behavior. So if you go back and see what is a D3, they are very good at what they have to do. They have high competency, but their confidence level is low because they have done some mistake, or they have probably got scolded by the lecturer or the principal. Their morale is low, but they're good at what they're doing. So what you need to do as a leader, you don't have to tell them what to do, how to do, because they are already good at what they do, right? So all you're going to do is give them a lot of supportive behavior, right? Tell them that you are the best person in the team, you really know what you're doing, you would add a lot of value to the kind of project that we're doing, and give them a lot of sense of motivation. Tell them how important they are. That will make them rejuvenate and then come back and then start performing. So the whole idea is to ensure that they are high on competency and high on commitment, which is the S4 behavior. As a leader, you would ensure that the D4, which is high on competent, high on commitment, that is where you would want to get all your learners, which is you would get a D1 to a D4, D2 to a D4, D3 to a D4. That is your job as a leader. You need to make everybody competent and everybody committed towards what they're doing. And when they get there, then you can just put your hands in the back and then relax, because that is the time that you delegate work. All right. No problem, Vishwa. Do let me know. Please do try out all of these techniques and do let me know how is it working. Try it for a week and tell me whether these things have helped you. I believe you, or believe me on this. In a week's time, if you do this for 7 consecutive days, you will be able to see a lot more confidence level, a lot of changes within you. Come back and let me know in the next 7 days, how are you finding it? Are you seeing a progress in yourself? All right. Alright, so delegating is the place where you want your teams to be, where you just give a task to somebody and then you completely rest, because you know that the team member is high on commitment, high on competence. They know what to do, and they are also very passionate about doing those tasks. So these are the 4 different styles of leadership. Please remember, you can't just be one style of leader for all of them. Your learners are at different stage, and thereby it is important for you also treat them differently, different strokes for different folks. You are going to be a different leader for different individuals. That is when you are going to be an accomplished leader. All right. Yes, sir. Definitely start following your steps. Great, Vishwa, thank you so much. All the best for you, and I'm sure if you do this regularly, you will really go ahead. Harsh, welcome. Harsh, actually, today's session was at 6:30. We are about to sign out, so we are almost in the last slide. I would want to close this last slide by saying I love this statements. That's why I wanted to put this across. It's so important to have a vision. Do you have a vision? Do you have a very clearly laid out vision is what I want to ask each one of you. Listen to the statement. Some people never see it. They are called as the wanderers. They don't see it at all, which is they don't have a vision at all. They're called as wanderers. Some people see it but pursue it, but never pursue it on their own. Some people have a vision but they don't pursue it on their own. Somebody should ask them to do it, or okay, you have a vision, I'm going to follow it. They are called as followers. Some people see it and pursue it. They are called as achievers. If you are somebody who have a vision and you start pursuing it, if you start working towards it, then you are an achiever. But who's a leader? A leader is somebody, some people see it, they also pursue it, and they also help others see it, and they are called as leader. They just don't do it themselves. What they do is they have a vision, they start implementing it, executing it, and they'll ensure that the whole team starts executing towards the same vision. That is being a leader. Right? Don't be a wanderer, don't be a follower, don't just be an achiever, be a leader. Alright, so now you know exactly what are all the things that you need to be doing in order to be a great leader. I would encourage each one of you to be a part of the Plus program in order to know a lot more about leadership style. What I did right now was to give you a glimpse of some of the aspects of leadership that we need to have. If you look at this, that's my referral code. Please use my referral code in order to join the Plus program. You would be eligible for a 10% discount, and my referral code is down below, which is NITINPKAR-4915. Please do use this code in order to be a part of the Plus program. In the Plus program, the advantages, you would have access to complete sessions of mine, just not mine, but also a lot of other educators, which if you want to crack your CAT or a JE or any of those courses, you would have absolute access for all of these courses. So there's a lot of advantages. I would welcome each one of you into the Plus program. Hemant, Jaishankar, thank you so much. I'm glad that you liked the session, and if you have liked the session, please don't forget to give a thumbs up, share this video with all your friends and colleagues, and follow me on the YouTube Unacademy YouTube channel, and subscribe to it. I'm going to see you tomorrow at 6:30. 6:30 to 7 is the session, so be a part of that session. We'll have an engaging session tomorrow as well. Any questions that you have for now, I'm going to open the session for any questions. I'll wait for the next 30 seconds. Harsh, you just joined in late, so you can always go back and see the recorded version. I think that's going to be live in the next 15 minutes or so. So you can go back and look at the recorded session. All right, I'm assuming there are no questions, guys. Vishwa, India's youth, Savan, Harsh, Hemant, thank you so much for joining. All right, thumbs up. See you guys tomorrow at 6:30. Have a lovely evening. Bye.